tuzungumze kwa hekima na heshima, tutulize nafsi, tupeane busara, tuwe na mazungumzo ya kujenga, tuelewane mimi na wewe, tusipoziba ufa tutajenga ukuta.
Welcome to Prime Edition, coming to you right off the Women's AFCON, where South Africa beat Ghana 2-0. We have, of course, Mali versus Tanzania live at 10 p.m. tonight, all the way from Morocco. This comes amid the Sabasaba protests that have left protesters nursing gunshot wounds, some dead, businesses closed, and many, like my colleague Muchuma Odim, not able to show up at work. We continue, nevertheless, with the news. Good evening. My name is Mboya, and the news begins right now. A warm welcome to all of you from wherever you're watching us. Lucy Maura is in charge of our sign language docket. Speaks to us. Let us know your thoughts on some of the stories we are carrying for you on our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. Straight to our lead story. Several protesters, beg your pardon, are tonight nursing gunshot wounds in several parts of the country where police battled stone-throwing protesters. Anti-riot police engaged armed groups who were demonstrating, shooting one person in Kangemi and another in Kitengela. 5 others are nursing gunshot injuries in Kiambu County. That's the report that opens our coverage tonight.
Protests erupted on Monday in various areas in Nairobi County as Kenyans geared for Sabasaba commemoration 35 years later. In Kangemi along Wayaki Way, protesters engaged anti-riot police for hours. The situation worsening after riot police shot one person, prompting the protesters to retaliate with stones. The demonstrators blocked the road, making it impassable for motorists.
For the better part of the day, Kangemi along the Wayaki Way has been, or rather remained, a no-go zone as police officers are trying to keep away the protesters from even accessing the road.
In Kitengela town, it was a whole day of running battles between protesters armed with stones and crude weapons and anti-riot police. The demonstrators lighting fires along the Kitengela-Nairobi road. During the confrontation, one person was shot and several others injured. The protesters later stormed a health facility in the area where the wounded had been rushed, disrupting operations, and police had to move in to contain the situation, with workers scampering for safety. In Kisumu, a miner sustained serious injuries after he was shot with an arrow by suspected goons who are battling rival protesters. The miner was rushed to Kisumu Teaching and Referral Hospital, where he is receiving treatment.
Huyu kijana amekuja like 30 minutes ago akiwa na bleed kwa mguu, na tumeweza kuosha hiyo wound, tukastop hiyo bleeding, tukamshona. At least sasa tunaona ametulia kidogo because alikuwa kwa maumivu sana.
Businesses in the two towns remained closed and streets deserted as police took control. In Kiambu County, one protester was shot dead at Dumberi village as they were engaging police in a running battle, while 9 are nursing gunshot wounds at Kiambu Level 5 Hospital, of whom 5 are in critical condition.
We have 3 patients who are critically ill. So we have 3 that are going to theatre. 1 is already in theatre. So we are waiting for the rest to be taken to theatre. In the meantime, we are taking care of the rest of the patients.
A grade 8 pupil was also caught in the melee and is nursing a gunshot wound at St. Bridget Hospital. Giverson Minor, Prime Edition.
From Kangemi, Kitengela and other parts of the country to Nairobi Central Business District, where it remained dormant for the better part of Monday following the planned Sabasaba protest. There was little or no activity, with business owners opting to close shop and others adding additional security personnel to guard their property. Police blocked roads leading to the CBD, ensuring that no unauthorized person gained entry. Here's that report.
Monday in the capital city's central business district. An otherwise busy city on a normal weekday remained almost deserted. Only a few vehicles plying the streets trying to make their way past the barricades laid by the police. No one was allowed past these barriers without proper authorization. As for premises, there are usually a beehive of activities on a normal day. This was the reality. Business owners decided to steer clear of the central business district and close their premises. In downtown, there were additional plainclothes security personnel hired by the business owners to keep goons at bay. Security was also beefed up near and along critical government installations, from the Supreme Court to Parliament, to roads leading to the house on the hill. Police ensured no unauthorized access, and so for the better part of the day, the CBD remained calm with no incidents reported. Isufar reporting for Prime Edition.
As we indicated, business premises remained closed in most towns and transport was paralyzed amidst running battles between protesters and police as Kenyans marked Sabasaba Day. However, some regions, including Homa Bay, Busia, Migori, and also Kericho, were calm, with locals undertaking their normal routines. We give you a summary an executive summary of the events right across the country.
Buses ferrying travellers from as far as Western Kenya to various destinations, including Mombasa, was stopped by police at Kabete near Kabete Police Station along the Wayaki Way. Passengers, including some heading to catch flights at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, decried their journey had been delayed by various police roadblocks. In Naivasha sub-county, security officials shut down all government offices, including law courts, amid fears of planned raids during the Gen Z protest. The decision followed Sunday night unrest along the Nairobi-Nakuru highway that went on until daylight, where youthful protesters lit bonfires and robbed motorists.
Toka saa 3:30 tukaambiwa tufunge biashara zetu kwa sababu ya usalama wetu. Especially maaskari ndio walituambia tufunge.
In Makueni, the demonstrations turned into a cat-and-mouse game between protesters and police, with tear gas being fired and stones thrown in return. One vehicle was set on fire by protesters and 5 people sustained minor injuries.
Askari ni hawa, watoto ni hawa wanakimbizana, tear gas. Na sisi ni watu, na hawa ni watoto wetu, na sio karatasi, na hatuna pesa tunaweza nunua chochote.
In Bungoma, business along several streets leading to the commercial business center came to a standstill. Shops and banks remained closed for fear of looting. Mombasa experienced heightened security on Sabasaba Day, with most businesses remaining closed due to fears of looting and property destruction amid anticipated protests. A heavy police presence patrolled the major streets of the central business district. However, no demonstrations took place in the port city.
Kwa hivyo hali kama hii inaika tension, makastoma hatuna na mji unakuwa shwari.
No one will stay in Kenya if it is going to go around like this. We will lose investors.
In Busia County, residents and business operators, including border riders, went about their usual daily activities.
Busia iko sawa, inafanya biashara zao. Maandamano Busia hatutaki. Busia iko na amani.
In Homa Bay, residents opted to keep off the demonstrations, citing a desire for peace and development.
Hatujaandamana. Hii ni siku ya makumbusho yenye tunakumbusha wale wadogo yale tulipitia ili tufikie mahali tulipo leo.
In Kericho, the youth turned up at the Moi Gardens in Kericho town, where they sat down with elders and religious leaders to air their grievances.
Kwa hivyo nataka niwashukuru vijana wetu kwa kusikia mwito wa wazee na kanisa ya kuweka amani. Na tunataka amani tumu na nchi yetu ya Kenya amani tumu.
Maria Ambo reporting for Prime Edition.
From the Sabasaba overview, now on to another item here. And the former Prime Minister Raila Odinga is tonight making a call for an intergenerational national conversation. Why? To reconcile the country over the grievances that he says continue to fuel unrest. Speaking in Nairobi, Kenya, during the Sabasaba Day commemorations, Raila noted that Kenya is facing a new wave of discontent that can no longer be ignored. He says that the outcome of the proposed talks should be subjected to a referendum. As Kamche Meza reports, Raila, who was expected to lead commemorations at Kamkunji grounds, was a no-show, citing police barricades.
Monday's Sabasaba Day marked 35 years since the historic push for multi-party democracy. However, this year's commemorations took a different turn. Former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who was expected to address Kenyans at the symbolic Kamukunji grounds, was a no-show at the venue.
Unfortunately, as you all know, circumstances, today the roadblocks all over town, which has made it difficult for people to move to Kamkunji. In the circumstances, I've decided therefore to talk to the media here.
Raila revisited events of July 7th, 1990 and drew parallels to the present day, saying Kenya still grapples with same challenges it faced then.
The most important struggle taking shape in our country today is the struggle for good governance, economic opportunity, and equality. The biggest challenge facing Kenya today and into the foreseeable future is how to expand economic opportunity and lift particularly young Kenyans out of poverty, exclusion, and unemployment.
Issues he believes require urgent redress.
There is no doubt that the country is yearning for legislation that makes our institutions more responsive, programs that ensure adequate funding for services that touch wananchi, changes that make our judiciary free, efficient and progressive, measures that make the executive more accountable and efficient.
To address the current wave of youth-led protests across the country, the ODM leader is proposing an intergenerational national dialogue that brings together different voices to chart a new cause for the nation.
I propose that the country urgently returns to the agenda of comprehensive police reforms, focusing on enhancing accountability, transparency, and improving the police-to-people relationship. Your rogue police force that shoots people with impunity. Such a national conclave must have clear terms of reference and be populated and helmed by the most serious and sober minds in our nation. The proceeds of the national dialogue be subjected to a referendum.
The former premier pointing at a section of leaders, accusing them of hijacking the language of liberation to mislead the youth and sow seeds of division. Kamchemenza for Prime Edition.
And from that item now, we move on to a press statement here from the Office of the Inspector General at the National Police Service. And I'll just take a few excerpts here. It's an update regarding the Sabasaba protests that were held today, the 7th day of July 2025. It goes on to say that the National Police Service commends the majority of Kenyans for being law-abiding and heeding the call to maintain law and order. However, certain individuals remain determined to engage in acts of lawlessness that involved multiple criminal acts, including attacks on law enforcement officers and the looting that was witnessed. The statement continues to say that preliminary reports indicate fatalities, injuries, damage to motor vehicle, and several incidents of looting as detailed below. Number one, number of fatalities stand at 11. Number two, the number of injured police officers stand at 52. The number of injured civilians stand at 11. Damaged police vehicles stand at 12. Damaged government vehicles are 3. The damaged civilian vehicles are 4. And the total number of arrests that have been made so far stand at 567. In conclusion, the statement says the National Police Service remains steadfast and resolute in serving and protecting all Kenyans, residents, visitors, and their property as well, by ensuring that all reported cases are thoroughly and expeditiously investigated to bring those responsible to justice. That statement has been signed by Mushiri Nyaga, Director of Corporate Communications and the spokesperson of the National Police Service. Now, moving on, Interior and National Administration Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen says restricted access to Nairobi Central Business District was meant to prevent criminal infiltration. While acknowledging the inconvenience that was caused to city residents, Murkomen insists that the primary goal was to safeguard lives and property during the Monday Sabasaba protests. The CS spoke during an inspection tour of the city centre, where he lauded security agencies for maintaining law and order during the demonstrations.
While on an inspection tour of Nairobi's Central Business District, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen defended the decision to restrict access to the city during today's protests.
Structure that we put in place today, many goons and criminals did not get a chance to invade properties. But also at the same time, many Kenyans got inconvenienced. Some Kenyans were unable to access their offices. Some Kenyans also, out of fear of what happened last week, did not want to continue with their businesses.
He acknowledged that the move may have inconvenienced many commuters, but emphasized the need to ensure the citizens' safety.
All the Kenyans that will feel inconvenienced as a result of this security operation, to tell them, poleni sana, we just had to do this because we wanted you to be safe and we want your property to be safe. Our intention is positive. Our desire is to save lives and to save property for Kenyans.
We are looking forward to continue to do what we are expected to do for the people of this country in terms of making sure that this country is safe, for people to express themselves, but also for people to go about their businesses uninterrupted.
Murkomen also praised police for containing crime during the protests.
We have officers across the country who have today done their very best to make sure that they contain criminals and goons who are infiltrating a peaceful protest by citizens. And I'm happy that as a result of the work you have done, there is a lot of, today there was lesser damage than we saw last week.
Of course, the CS are there commending the officers for demonstrating exceptional restraint and professionalism in the face of the what was witnessed today. The National Police Service also calling on anyone with information about individuals who are involved in criminal activities to come forward and share that information and report to the nearest police station, or even to contact any station wherever they notice anything. And the National Police Service also saying that preliminary reports that indicate fatalities, injuries and damage to motor vehicles and several incidents of looting have been detailed in that statement that I read to you earlier. And the National Police Service also adding that a number of people have been arrested, a number of suspects have been arrested, including the Honorable Gitonga Mukunji, who is the Member of Parliament for Manyata constituency. Now, moving on, the public service transport to Nairobi and Mombasa from Kisumu bus termini was interrupted for the better part of Monday as commuters and transport owners kept off in fear of security concerns during the Sabasaba demonstrations. There were reports of vehicles being waylaid and passengers being robbed or even extorted in parts of Nakuru County. As Achola Simon reports, it was business as usual in other sectors as the residents went about their normal routine without any interruption at all.
At the main Kisumu bus terminus, several long-distance public service vehicles plying the Kisumu, Nakuru, Naivasha and Nairobi route remained parked for the better part of the day as the commuters and the owners of the public service vehicle kept off in fear of insecurity along the way.
Leo kwa sababu ya tishio na shauku ya matajiri hawakuweza kuleta magari, na abiria pia wengi walifikiria kutakuwa maandamano ya fujo na nini.
Kwa hivyo huko gari haziwezi toka kwa sababu hatuko shua na barabara. Pia abiria hakuna, huwezi peleka gari bure hata kama ina mafuta.
Reports indicate that those who traveled on Sunday night were either harassed or robbed by unruly youth who began barricading the roads on Sunday night and early Monday morning.
Kama hii litopolewa miguu na watu kuporwa na kupigwa.
Zile gari zitoka jana usiku hazikuweza kufika Nairobi kwa sababu ya extortion. As early as midnight kulikuwa na extortions mingi kuanzia Nakuru, Kinungi mpaka ukielekea Nairobi.
Those manning the Nairobi route urged police to ensure security of those traveling in and out of Kisumu. The situation was, however, different on other routes headed in and out of Kisumu, as normal operation went uninterrupted.
There is no interference, there is no demonstration. People are peaceful, others are carrying banners, no demonstrations. People are just pocketing very well.
Other sectors remained largely uninterrupted as the new normal in Kisumu County continued today.
We are also asking the Nairobians to be peaceful. At the moment, we don't want any chaos in Kenya. Kenya is a peaceful nation. We are requesting all of them, whoever is on the road, come back to peace. Let us build Kenya to be one.
Kwa saizi tuweza kuwaomba kwamba wasaidie president kufanya kazi. Ni miaka 2 tu. Kama kulipisha kisasi, tungoje 2027.
Yeah, let them wait. The usually volatile Kondele roundabout remained calm, with residents urging those who wanted to participate in the Sabasaba demonstrations to do it peacefully, devoid of disrupting normal operations and destroying property. In the CBD, banners bearing peace messages dotted the streets, perhaps a clear indicator of the new normal in the lakeside city. Achola Simon, Prime Edition, Kisumu County.
Achola's story brings us to a first break here on Prime Edition. It's exactly 31 minutes past the top of the hour. We'll take a short break. We'll be back with much more. Stay with us.
The Ministry of Health is conducting a typhoid and measles rubella vaccination campaign in all the 47 counties from 5th to 14th July 2025. The typhoid vaccine will be administered to children aged 9 months to 14 years. The measles rubella vaccine will be administered to children aged 9 months to 5 years. These vaccines are safe, effective, and available free of charge at all health facilities, schools, markets, and places of worship near you. Typhoid is a serious disease that spreads through contaminated food and water. Maintain safe water and sanitation even after receiving the typhoid vaccine. Measles is highly contagious. It can cause severe complications and even death. Vaccination against measles offers the best protection against the disease. Let's protect our children from typhoid and measles rubella. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Health in collaboration with UNICEF and the World Health Organization.
Tuzungumze kwa hekima na heshima, tutulize nafsi, tupeane busara, tuwe na mazungumzo ya kujenga, tuelewane mimi na wewe, tusipoziba ufa tutajenga ukuta.
Semana Sports. Hapo.
Semana Sports is a bold, enlightening television show that offers Kenyans a direct line to the heart of government operations. Hosted by the government spokesman, Isaac Mwaura.
Welcome to Semana Sports Bonga da Gava.
This weekly program features candid conversations with senior government officials, cabinet secretaries, and heads of key parastatals as they break down their ministries' achievements, challenges, and strategic plans.
Cage aquaculture farming, yes. 8.7 billion.
Yes.
So there's a lot of money.
There's a lot of, and we have not even tapped the potential.
As we get closer to start constructing the first nuclear program, we should have a robust regulatory framework.
Thank you, the spokesperson, for this chance, where we are able to converse with our government.
Semana Sports.
Hii sio story ya jaba.
Sio story ya jaba.
Mimi ni Mkenya mzalendo daima. Thank you.
Tuesday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
Live from Broadcasting House, Nairobi, Kenya. This is KBC English Service.
And welcome to Beat Time Show, the very best of the 80s and 90s with me, John Karani, JK.
Timeless music hits across the decades.
This is the place to be after you've had a tough day. Here we celebrate love and life.
Don't believe me, just watch. The sound of KBC English Service.
I'm your host Caroline Wangishi. Carol Gatata Moshero.
My name is Geoffrey Mongai. News, information and entertainment. KBC English Service, Kenya's official national radio.
Welcome back to Prime Edition. Remember that when the clock strikes 10 p.m. tonight, the match between Mali and Tanzania will be on the women's AFCON. Earlier on, of course, South Africa played Ghana and beat Ghana 2-0. Now, the family and friends of the 25-year-old Victor Otieno are tonight demanding justice following his tragic death during the Gen Z-led protests in Ruiru on June 25th of 2025. Otieno, a final year student at Thika Technical Training Institute, allegedly sustained fatal head injuries as police attempted to disperse crowds during the demonstrations in Kirinyaga County. A 22-year-old is recounting his ordeal, having survived 6, believe it or not, gunshot wounds during the June 25th protests. Here is that story by Teresa Mutai.
The father of the deceased, Patrick Wasonga, is in great pain. He is struggling to come to terms with the death of his son. Victor Otieno, who until his demise was a final year student at Thika Technical Training Institute, was shot dead during the 25th June demonstrations.
Ni mtu mwenye alikuwa anaenda kufanya mtihani yake. Wanaanza tarehe 14, wanamaliza tarehe 24. Mtihani yake ya mwisho.
It was so heartbreaking. Actually, majority of us, we come from a very humble background and we leave home to change home.
They are also appealing to the government and well-wishers to assist them in raising 600,000 shillings required to give their kin a befitting send-off on July 26th in Bungoma County.
Mipango ya misisi inaendelea na kwa saizi sasa mimi sina chochote. But ninataka msaada mwenye akona nayo yake kidogo, nadhani akinisaidia huyu kijana afike nyumbani.
The family is in a dire situation. We have a very big budget deficit in our plans to transport our fallen brother back home. It's a long distance. We'll need a lot of resources. So please, we urge people to kindly stand with our family so that we can lay our brother in rest.
Mike Duncan Kamau, aged 22 years old, a second-year law student at Mount Kenya University, has a different story. Mike is lucky to have survived 6 bullet shots during the June 25th protest in Nairobi. Speaking at his family home in Gurubani town in Kirinyaga County, after he was discharged from Kenyatta National Hospital, Mike recounts the fateful day.
Kuna moja ilinipata hapo hivi kwa lungs. I actually thought nijiwe, but nikisonga sasa hivyo mbele bado nikikimbia sa pole pole ndo niliishiwa na hewa. Then there was a friend of mine anaitwa Bill, akakuja akanichukua tukenda in another building, ndo saa nikaeko chini, walikuwa wananipepeta and all that. Wakaona it's getting worse, ndo waka call the medics.
Lamin Camara with his first career goal.
Ni muda wa kuhesabu kwa ajili ya kusherekea fasili na asili ya soka barani Afrika, ligi za ndani na magwiji wasiotambulika.
Mangeni Alvin anaichanja ndani uzuri, David!
Michuano ya CAF ya mataifa ya Afrika 2024 ni njia ya kuzindua kupanua mtandao wa wachezaji ulimwenguni. Timu itakayoshinda itazawadiwa dola za Marekani milioni 3.5 pamoja na kujivunia kulinyanyua kombe hilo. Pata manufaa zaidi kutoka kwa CHAN 2024 mubashara na kipute cha kipekee kwenye runinga ya KBC Channel 1, mwenzio wa dhati michezoni.
Welcome to the sports. I'm holding down the fort for the sports anchor. Kenya will play South Africa tomorrow in a classification match in the Africa Sitting Volleyball Championship ongoing at the Kasarani Indoor Arena. Kenya's hopes of scaling qualification to the 2026 World Para-Volley Championships suffered a blow after losing their second match against Rwanda last evening. Kenya lost 3-1 to Rwanda, who secured a semi-final spot in the continental competition against Morocco, with Egypt playing Algeria in the other semi-final. The winners will meet in the final on Wednesday.
Tuna plan tupumzike kidogo, turudi mazoezi, kwa sababu tumejaribu pia kuongea na coach wa Rwanda. Anasema kama tunaweza pata time hivi tumuite akuje kutupatie mazoezi kidogo, atupatie pia makocha wetu technical skills ambazo zile pengine ametumia kuweza kutushinda virahisi. Hivyo maybe tutapambana wakati mwingine.
Our objective is just to win the match, semi-final, and we're gonna go to the final. So then when we go to the final, of course, we're going to get a trophy and be the champion.
Elite junior golfer Kamana Muthoni won the Royal Ladies Open at Par 72 Royal Nairobi Golf Club. The event underscored the potential of junior golfers who dominated the field.
Kanana Muthoni, who is one of the 3 Kenyan lady golfers selected for the Africa High Performance Camp, had a score of 73 gross to better the field that had players from 26 clubs, including players from Uganda and Sri Lanka.
I feel happy, and today things were working out. Even though most parts of mine weren't dropping in the hole, a lot of my long game was pretty solid, and approaches were quite good today.
Mercy Nyanchama, playing off handicap 2, was the gross winner, with handicap 1 junior protege Chanel Wangare the gross runners-up.
Previously, we had 1 or 2 scratch players. Today, we have 7. You saw the young girls who have joined the Africa High Performance Program. They are all under 18. They are all playing below 0, minus 0.6, 0.5. That's a very, very sure sign that golf is improving in the country.
Royal Nairobi lady captain Penny Wambui was the Division A net winner.
We must commend the juniors. A lot of the winners are juniors, and that is the future of golf. So today was a very competitive tournament, because we had a handicap index cutoff of 24.7, which is the first ever in the country.
The event underscored the potential of junior golfers who dominated the field. Meanwhile, home players Sandeep Matharu and Zipporah Gishigi were the top performers of the Sigona leg of the 2025 NCBA Golf Series. Matharu, playing off handicap 2, clinched the overall gross winner title with a round of 72 gross, while Gishigi, playing off handicap 7, claimed the overall ladies trophy with 86 gross. The event, which marked the 16th leg of this year's series, featured an impressive field of 260 golfers from across the region, making it one of the most competitive and vibrant legs of the series so far. The players defied the chilly weather for a chance to qualify for the grand finale, scheduled for November at Muthaiga Golf Club. The tour will head to Rwanda on July 13th, followed by a return to Kenya's coast at Mombasa Golf Club on July 22nd.
It starts with little moments of courage. To stepping out into the new world with confidence. Taking leaps of faith. Spreading your wings and soaring to new heights. Your mother's love is with you wherever you go. Stay soft. Nothing lasts like mom's love.
Women's Africa Cup of Nations, Morocco.
Feel the pulse of a continent, where Africa's fiercest women warriors clash for glory in the Women's Africa Cup of Nations 2024. Africa's top teams, one crown. Morocco hosts once more, ready to etch new legends into history. Rising stars, one stage to shine.
And it is the Copa Queen. They have been waiting for this moment. Here's a chance for a second. South African lead by 2-0 in this final, and he'll never higher.
This is more than football. It's African excellence. It's women's power. Don't miss WAFCON 2024. Live from Morocco.
Welcome back to Prime Edition Sports. Mexico fought back from a goal down to beat United States 2-1 and retain their Gold Cup title in Houston, Texas. The Gold Cup featured 16 nations, 15 from North and Central America, as well as Saudi Arabia, who had been invited to compete. All but one of the matches have been held in the United States, with the other one staged in Vancouver, that's in Canada.
United States and Mexico in the 2025 CONCACAF Gold Cup Final. For the Richards connection against Saudi Arabia for a goal. Looking for the same thing. Richards! Off the bar and in! Chris Richards opens the scoring for the United States 4 minutes in! United States ahead on the 4th minute goal by Chris Richards. Space for Ruiz on the turn. Sneaks it through. Jimenez scores! You knew the response was coming! Raul Jimenez equalizes for Mexico! They've had 11 corners already today. Now from the free kick, whipped in, the header, back post, Alvarez! But the flag negates it. It's a simple black and white decision in the VAR room, and the goal awarded gives Mexico the 2-1 lead. Celebrations delayed, but celebrations nonetheless. Fired right back in. Here's Vega. Lays it off. Slip in the box from Jimenez. And there's the final whistle. The 2025 CONCACAF Gold Cup belongs to Mexico. Once again, the kings of CONCACAF for a 10th time. Mexico are your 2025 CONCACAF Gold Cup champions.
Congratulations to the 2025 CONCACAF.
On to tennis now. Novak Djokovic came from a set down to beat Alexander de Minaur 3-1 and sailed through to the quarterfinals at Wimbledon for the 16th time. Meanwhile, Switzerland's Belinda Bencic reached the quarterfinals for the first time thanks to a straight set win against Ekaterina Alexandrova.
that he's been looking for. He ramps it up for the crowd.
Well, that's all we had time for, and we want to thank you so much for making us your channel of choice for your news. I've been on set with Lucy Maura as our sign language interpreter, and I want to thank you also on behalf of the back-end team at Prime Edition. Of course, the match between Mali and Tanzania coming up all the way from Morocco in just a moment. We'll be back again tomorrow. My name is Mboya. Good night from Nairobi, Kenya, and enjoy the soccer game.
Tuzungumze kwa hekima na heshima, tutulize nafsi, tupeane busara, tuwe na mazungumzo ya kujenga, tuelewane mimi na wewe, tusipoziba ufa tutajenga ukuta.
Enroll at Trisent School of Medical Health Science and Technology today and turn your dream of undertaking courses in nutrition and dietetics, theater technology, medical engineering,